Welcome to 13 Minutes of News in 13 minutes or less. I want to talk to you guys first. I've got it double up on the screen this week because I want to tell you guys, UberLiftDrivers.com. And slowly everything is getting interconnected through there. It already is, but it's even going to have a better interface. And there's actually going to be a page that I've talked about before, but I've actually started working on it now, that is for other YouTubers. You will be able to see their YouTube link, and then a 2-3 sentences on what their channel is and what it's about, and it's going to be a directory, as well as audio podcasters will have a page, and sponsors will have a page, and companies I like will have a page. It's all going to be in some kind of I'm thinking around the term our crew or family or something as a link. Because right now, if you look, Uber Lyft drivers, so when you go to uberliftdrivers.com, this is the landing page. Then there's an ad for solo up here. Then we have podcast. You can click that, and you can access every podcast through there, as well as Spotify, Apple Music, all of them. But here, there's no really graphic interface. It's a widget that's in there, and you can hit every episode. So you can select and play every episode or download every episode through Spotify, through Apple Music, Pandora, Google, any of the pod players, Stitcher, all the pod players, whatever you choose to listen to through, or if you don't have one, even Spotify or anything like that, that's what I'm saying. You can go to uberliftdrivers.com and always click podcast and listen to all the podcasts. You can also hit up our Twitter page, Facebook, and Facebook goes to the group, but we also have a page as well. A little confusing getting that worked out. The YouTube page and the Instagram page. The only thing I can't put on there is the TikTok page. But yes, I do have one. It's in the show notes. I've had a couple people ask me where it is. It's in the show notes, guys, because people always are like, Steve's TikTok's so crazy and funny. Okay, well, it's in the show notes, so you can find it that way if you really want to. It's really more just my outlet for fun, and because I don't use OBS like some creators, one day I will learn it for sure. But because I don't do that, it works as an OBS for me. I'm able to actually move objects and images and add sounds and have shorts where I can manipulate things without having to learn OBS yet. Because if I had the time, guys, I would. But last Tuesday was my 150th episode of the podcast. So I'm really proud of that. I want to thank Nova Dasher for sitting in with me. I've still got 3 more weeks left of the co-host podcast. And then it goes back to just me on the podcast doing an hour where I hit record, go for an hour, hit stop. And that is what built the audio podcast. And I'm coming back to it with a lot of new ideas on how to approach it. Because this summer with the co-host has been really fun. And I am absolutely going to miss it. But I've got some really good ideas from having these guys on. And I still will. The original podcast always still had people on it. So I'll still have people on it. But this has been great. The 3 guests I have left. This coming week, I have Hannibal is Hungry. Week after, I have Yost Malone. And closing the whole thing down, I got Jason Thierry with me the last week of the month. And the week before that, Jason and I will be in Dallas for Podcaster Movement 2022. And we will be live broadcasting a few times from there, but not for like hours and hours and hours. We've already talked about, we're going to do a couple live things from the sessions. And hopefully it'll be fun for you guys. So watch out next week, or watch out in 2 weeks. Okay, so if you guys saw this DoorDash story, we talked about this a little bit this week, that DoorDash drivers demand tip transparency. Well, we've always wanted tip transparency, and we at Para, however you say it, we've learned there is no, by the way, guys, there is no wrong way to say it. Para or Para, we don't even correct people anymore. There is no right way to say it. It's both. But if you saw David's speech that I posted from the gig conference in St. Louis, he was talking about how, we were up at 48,000 on the petition we created on change.org. Now, change.org can be a little deceiving sometimes because people think, well, you can just go post anything on change.org and, see if you get 1,000 signatures or 100 or whatever you can get. But this one went viral because out of the 100,000 plus active para users, I'm just going to say it the way I want. That went out to them, and they're a very active group on Facebook. Like the Facebook group for para is not, it's very active. So everybody on there is always talking and stuff, and it's not a bunch of trolling or all that. It's questions, it's legit, and that's why it went to a more locked down version, because there were just too many trolls. Like when it moved over from the app, and last year, if you guys remember, we had like, and I was the one that was having to deal with the chat when things kind of, came apart with the DoorDash tip transparency the first time in 2021. I was having to deal with the chat and all the banter and stuff. And to be honest, I mean, I can't ever prove it, but I feel like there were underagers in the chat too. And we never had a mod. We never really had mod anything in there the first time around. So we're just being a lot more careful. Because there was a lot of crazy stuff going down in that. And I say that to anybody who starts anything that might require a mod, even if you don't think it does, keep in mind that it might out of nowhere, because when you start something, you want it to be big, you want it to be successful, right? Well, okay, if it gets big and successful, you need to be ready that minute. You can't start then searching. So even if you're not going to put a mod on it right away, which I even would do that, yourself and maybe one other person, to just kind of check in on it, even if you don't think it's going to see much action. But if you're going to need mods down the line, start at least thinking about who you would trust and want to do that for you, and who might be able to do it. So it's an important thing. But anyway, the Stop Hiding Pay information from gig workers on change.org is about to have a .org site of its own. And it's going to be sponsored by Para. And all of you guys are going to like it. Even those of you that question the independent contractorship or anything else that's going on and where our status is, you're all going to enjoy the new Para page. Or it's not a .org, it's it's a .org. But I can't give out the domain yet. I'm talking to Chan next week, and we're having a long meeting, and then the team is, and sometime next week, I'll get back to you guys. Hopefully by Thursday. Let's shoot for Thursday. And we talked about this on the radio show last night, which I've been bringing over to the YouTube side. I'll probably continue it through the month, and then we'll see where it's at. I'm just trying to. Tom's been super good to me. I run Driver Nation on Fridays with him. We've always had co-hosts Jason Thierry, Jesper. Lisa's been sitting in lately, and we've had all kinds of guests. But Tom Kelly, the manager and owner of the station, also sits in on Driver Nation along with a few other of his shows. Great guy. And we talked about this last night. And I'm trying to help him bring it over to the YouTube side. But we talked about this last night. In Iowa, they've made a law about third-party delivery apps not being able to. It's against the law for Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats to be getting food from a restaurant that doesn't have a contract with the restaurant. So no more, like, the whole article specifies, like, it's based around Grubhub, but you can take the attack as on everybody. And I highly recommend you guys go in there and check out the article. I believe it's in the post from August 11th yesterday. Is that right? The 11th or the 12th yesterday, maybe. It's in the post in there, and it's restaurant owner says third-party delivery law hasn't been working. It's like the third article down. Read that article and watch the video. There's a video from ABC, and it's eye-opening because you see, you can view it however you want, but you can actually now see it. You can, okay, this is bad. And I absolutely agree with the pizza shop owner. If you do go watch the video, I 100% agree with the pizza shop owner and his reasons. He's a perfect example of why this can't happen. So go check that out. Maybe we'll play it tomorrow on Sunday Fun Day. Uber's pricing model is launching everywhere right now. I after the radio show last night, I got on my email. I had like 14 emails from different markets. So I had all day been wondering how that was going to roll out. But I had emails from all over the country: North Carolina, Washington State, down south. So, I mean, everywhere. I'm not sure everywhere went lit, but they have the green light. It seems like a lot of markets went green yesterday with the upfront pricing model, which is where you're going to see your pickup, your drop off, where you're going. And first of all, this is rideshare. And if you know your market with rideshare, you should know the pickup, the drop off, time of day it is, and then you're going to see the earnings, and you're going to say, do I want that or not? If you want it, take it. But I love this because it makes it so that gig work or rideshare drivers cannot anymore say, this is a system and a game, they're playing me. Because now, as long as they show you, here's where you're picking up, here's where you're dropping off, it's this many miles, and we're going to pay you this. No joking around, just a flat one price. Then they've done their job. They can charge the customer whatever they want, and acceptance rating will no longer matter. That's the other beauty of this. So now it's fully on you. You look at the offer. You don't have to worry about acceptance rating. Like, oh, if I don't take this, then I'm going to have to take... No, there's no games being in this. So it's, if you don't take it, you don't take it. So now you see it. And if you take it, that's on you. If you don't take it, good for you. And if it's a bad order, for you. Somebody will take it. And that's all we've ever been saying. And that's perfect. So I'm happy with this. Okay, there's a couple other things that I want you guys to look into. That if you're an Instacart driver, I want you to look into this one order, 2 retailers with 1 delivery fee. That is a really crazy story to me, and I think that this all needs to be brought out into the open a little more. These stories have been running for this one's from yesterday, but I've seen them since about August 5th. And that will be launching soon. It's basically going to mean less money for Instacart workers for a little more time and a second stop. So beware. And there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the targeting of scammers online and even from the backseat, like gig workers being targeted. Well, maybe we'll bring that up tomorrow. I want to talk about the flexibility work bill. Maybe tomorrow we'll hit that in the beginning before we get into the fun. And then I guess the last thing I'll say today is that Japanese giant SoftBank has dumped its entire stake of Uber as it just continues to lose money. So they are out. And guys, that is 13 minutes of news in just under 13 minutes. Boom, peace.